But anyway, let's give them a chance. Let's lock in. Let's watch the devs. We'll see how long it takes for Glue to enter the room with us. I'll probably be skipping a little bit here and there when they're blah-blahing about irrelevant things. But yeah, here we go.
If you want to put that up on the screen, Dork, we got a visual asset. Look at that.
Yes.
We're so professional.
Beautiful, beautiful banner.
So, yeah, Galaxies is the promo code. It's really, like, for anyone who tuned into that stream, that was not how that was supposed to go. It should have been easy peasy for you to earn that. And technical issues happened.
All right, so we're officially 10 seconds into the stream and there's already been a technical issue. I think what they were intending was that if you watch the stream live, you would just automatically unlock this, but it didn't work out. So they put a code in for you.
So
Flashy, you got tested for that flashy.
that's true. Some are kind of flashy.
That's a cool
So
table
anyway,
they have.
let's
I'm not
dive
going to
into it.
lie.
Actually,
It's
before we do,
completely impractical, but it's
the thing I'm
cool.
most excited about for the whole format of this show is where you're going to use PowerPoint. PowerPoint is going to be central to the show from here on out.
Let's get
Killer
to the meat.
design, and today he's here to talk about, this is my transition to you,
Wait.
our reduction
What is this?
from Andy on
Yeah,
Discord.
I'm the voice, or the face behind the voice. Anyway, that's me.
Jeff is our designer extraordinaire. He's done live balance, live design. He's done killer design, and today he's here to talk.
I recognize this guy's voice. He's the one who talked about how Franklin's demise isn't fun for survivors, and it's not fun when your item gets taken from you. That's this guy right here. So if he's the genius behind the design, we really need to pay attention to what he's saying, because he might be the lead like designer. I'm not sure if he's the lead or not, but if he is, then we really need to take care of what this guy's saying, because he could have an enormous influence on the game, right? An enormous influence. So let's pay attention to him.
This is my transition to
What's
you.
up, El Gallo?
Our reduction systems for tunneling, camping, and slugging. So let's get into it.
Yes,
Wait,
all right.
are they like? I thought they dropped the camping thing. They're still talking about camping. What can you do to camping?
So as Eric so nicely put, we have a lot of PowerPoint to go through, so I apologize. I'm going to try to make it as exciting as it can be. Yeah. So the first question people might ask is, why are we doing these things? Why are we looking at these strategies that people employ to play the game? It's quite simple.
Okay, so before he says why they're putting all these features in the game, let me give you my idea on why I think they're putting all this stuff in the game before I hear what he has to say. I think they're putting all of this anti-camp, anti-struggle, anti-play the game stuff in the game because they know that the casual survivor player base is by far the biggest portion of their player base, which makes sense. And obviously the biggest portion of their player base is going to give them the most money. So why would you not do everything in your power to make the biggest part of your player base as happy as possible? So that's what I would say.
Simple. Face camping, tunneling, and slugging were in the top 5 reasons for people uninstalling the game. And you know, we as
Survivors, not people. That's
myself as a
again,
player.
be honest.
We want the game to last long. So to make sure that that happens and that the game can keep going as long as it can.
Votive, I can't talk about this completely because I was told this like off the record, but back when I think it was they announced the Walking Dead chapter, or like when they announced quality of life, they said there was a new anti-cheat system coming to the game. I already 3 days after they announced that, the hacker group told me what their new anti-cheat system was. They already knew all the way back then what it was going to be. And they already have figured out how to completely destroy it when it comes out and make hacking significantly worse when the new anti-cheat system comes out. They're just literally waiting in the shadows for it to happen. And they've been waiting for a very long time. And the only reason I can't say exactly what's going to happen is because they told it to me off the record and they don't want me to share that, you know, they know, sort of. Like, they don't want me to go into detail, basically, about it. So, I'm curious if that's true. And when the new anti-cheat quality of life comes out, we'll see if that turns out to be the case.
We have to
But again, going back to it, right? He said this is the number one reason people say they uninstall the game, survivors. So of course they need to address that. But do they address it in a way that makes sense? No. The way to make it make sense is to incentivize killers and give killers better options to not tunnel and camp, not force them to do it when it's not like reasonable whatsoever outside of playing like an S tier killer, right? So they're going to try to force an outcome instead of letting it happen naturally through good design. So that's how I see this.
to address the issues.
Yeah, their
that
table
people
is a
have-
pallet.
that players have with,
Completely impractical,
within
but
the
it
game.
looks cool.
So, face camping, slugging, and tunneling are three of the issues that we have to address.
There is no, okay, bro, there is no face camping outside of endgame. Like, there is no face camping in this game. Not really. Like, if there's face camping happening, it's because the survivors are making a bad play. It's just quite honestly the truth.
Right, I have the
You got the clicker.
Yeah, I forgot. That's so cool. Okay, so let me start by saying or explaining what face camping is. So usually it's described as the killer staying in very close proximity to a hooked survivor.
Yes, but that's not possible anymore because the survivor can unhook themselves, right? So that means that somehow the survivors misplayed in that situation. Otherwise, the survivor would be able to unhook themselves.
And over here you can see there's a nice little picture where it shows you what.
You know what? No. Let me take a step back, actually. What is face camping right now in Dead by Daylight? What face camping is right now is that survivors have 70-second hook states. So they sit on a hook for 70 seconds while their teammates rush gens. And then they try to come and get the unhook at the last possible second because they were busy trying to pop a gen, right? They didn't want to get off of it until it was finished. So they wait till they pop their gen, then they go get the unhook. Now, what a good killer will do in that situation is realize that they prioritize the gens over getting the unhook. So they'll go back to the hook to confirm the second stage or the death, right? That's a good strategic play. But it seems like the developers don't want you to be able to punish the survivors for prioritizing the gens over going for the save. So again, I'm very curious what they want to do. I couldn't even wrap my brain around it when they announced they were going to do more for camping back when they announced quality of life. So very interested in this. If you play DBD, what killer and survivor do I main? I main Knight and Sadako. And then survivor, I like any survivor that's got a good pair of mutton chops. So like Nick Cage has a good mutton chops. David King's got some good muttons. And then of course we got to bring in the OG Geralt of Narnia.
Face camping is, what proxy camping is, and what patrolling is. So when you're very close to the hook, that's usually face camping. When you're
Yes.
like mid length away from the hook, that's proxy camping. You're just making sure, the survivor's still there. And when you're a little bit further, you're patrolling. You're, looking from afar, seeing no one's going for the save. Okay.
I like how they use
that's
Skull Merchant for
basically
this.
The different steps or stages of camping are. Because this is a
Yeah,
PowerPoint
Toledo
presentation,
is a legend.
I
We always
figured
let
it would be
Toledos
very
go.
Nice to have some key data points. So I went and looked at the data.
Choi
'cause I think
Bonnick
sharing
played,
data is
true.
always useful. So overall,
So
we
Lightwaves.
have seen that since the start of 2025, face camping, so the closest proximity to the hook, has not really had any major shift. It's
Wait, did I miss something?
because this is a PowerPoint presentation, I figured it would be very nice to have some key data points. So I went and looked at the data because I think
Dredge is
sharing
sick.
data is always useful. So overall, we have seen that since the start of 2025, face camping, so the closest proximity to the hook, has not really had any major shift.
I'm so
it's been
confused.
pretty steady, which is kind of a weird thing to talk about, but that's the data. Patrolling, which is when you're
Yeah, it didn't change because you already killed face camping with the anti-face camp mechanic. I don't understand. Of course it hasn't changed. It can't because it doesn't exist. It's a myth. It doesn't... Guys, there... Face camping? It never happened. It was made up, a fairy tale, an urban legend made up by a whiny Redditor. Get it out of the building. It never happened. Like, what? 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 Of course it didn't change. I can't, like, the whole camping thing is gonna blow my mind. I can already tell. Patrolling has slightly increased. Maybe they want to go after proxy camping. Maybe that's what it is. And then that could be it. Maybe they're like, okay, face camping is dead. We need to kill proxy camping.
You're further than 20 meters away has increased a little bit. So killers tend to stay closer to the hook by about 3 seconds as opposed to, before 20.
Bro, they have data for everything.
And surprisingly, which is something that I think is fascinating because it could imply that survivors are learning to not rush unhooks, which is great.
Bro, the survivors take more time to rescue because you let them stay on hook for all eternity and they can rush gens. Please say it.
Survivors take more time to go for rescues. So you will leave your teammate on the hook for a little longer because you're going to finish that gen. And that's usually a good thing. So yeah, good job.
Okay,
and the last
okay.
thing I wanted to talk about for key data points is when the resolve bar fills. So that's the bar that fills.
Bro, again, you could see it already. He's talking about all of this from the survivor's perspective. Everything is seen through the eyes of a survivor. The whole game balance, everything. You can just see it, how he talks. It's like he says you when he's talking about survivor, but when he's talking about killer, he's gonna explicitly say it like it's a third person, like it's the killer or you, the killer or you. Like you see the inherent biasness. It's crazy.
Up when you're being camped, there's a 10% increase in escape rates. So the face camping mechanic or reduction that we implemented, I think it was last year, 2 years ago, actually has an impact on how the matches go.
Who would have thought?
So here is a breakdown by MMR. So you can see that low MMR killers tend to face camp more than mid or high MMR killers.
Because they have absolutely no idea that it's a thing.
In terms of maps, Raccoon City Police Department West Wing is the highest percentage for face camping, and Wretched Shop is the lowest.
Yeah, because you guys have put generators in spots that there should never have been generators. You put generators in the middle hall that are impossible to pressure, right? Those generators, believe it or not, depending on what killer you are pretty much impossible to defend because you put a gen out in the open so the survivors can always see where you're coming from at all times. As soon as they see you, they could shift W into any of the hallways in the map. So you can never pressure the gens. You could push them off of the gens, sure, but you can't actually like pressure the gens. They're going to pressure you. So you're forced to commit to a horrible shift W chase. And when you do get somebody down in that middle area, camping them in between those generators is the fucking strongest strategy on RPD. It's why RPD is a horribly balanced map, mostly because the gens are in bad spots that they shouldn't be in. So that would explain primarily why West Wing is there. Why Wretched Shop is there, I can only imagine it's because of the basement. You down somebody, you put them in the basement, and then a lot of action happens around the main building.
Put some stars beside those because while that's what the data says, we would have to do a deep dive as to like why that is, because we could argue that
get in that Excel,
RCPD
baby,
narrow,
do some
it's
deep dives.
Not a lot of room, so you spend more time near hooks without really wanting to. But I think it's interesting to share that these are the highest and lowest. As to why, I don't know. Maybe you can tell me.
I just did.
So what are the goals with?
Actually, you should know that. Dude, like that's your job. Like I'm not trying to be a dick, dude, but like that should be your like you should know, right? It's not my job. I just look. I don't get paid. I don't make decisions. You do. Like you should be locked in on this.
Face camping updates in the upcoming PTB. The first is to bridge the gap between solo players and Survivor with friends. And
impossible. Just bridging the gap between solo survivors and Survive with friends. It's impossible. There is the gap. It's a Grand Canyon. This right here, the gap, you see it right there next to bridge? It's a Grand Canyon. And you attempting to patch that together somehow isn't an impossibility. It'll never be even close to possible, ever. So you can sniff all the Elmers that is in the entire grocery store. You will never make it happen. The glue has been sniffed. Okay.
It'll all make sense in just a second. And the other one is to make the anti-face camp mechanic fair for both sides. So you may, as you have experienced, the meter filling up.
Dude, hold on. I'm sorry. We gotta talk about everything here because I literally, with like these devs, I can't handle it. Make the anti-face cam mechanic fairer. Like it's already fair, okay? But let's make it even more fair, brother. We're preaching the gospel here. Like, we're going to make it even more fair for both sides. You like the sound? It is from, in Europe, they call it X Factor. In America, they call it Beyond Fiction, or Beyond Belief Factor Fiction. It's an old show, and the music is from that. But okay, let's see how they're going to make it even more fair.
Up too soon after you've hooked someone, or you've hooked someone in the basement and you hook another survivor and the first one's filling up their meter. There's a lot of scenarios where it could feel a little oppressive. So what's next? In the upcoming PTB, you'll be able to test and hopefully give us a lot of feedback. The resolve bar when being camped will be visible to all survivors. So that means if I'm being camped and Diego is doing a gen on the other side of the map.
Bro, that's such a huge nerf. Like, I know that Survive with Friends gets it for free, again, completely broken, but hey, let's just keep breaking the game, right? Survive with Friends gets that for free. That's included with the Discord Nitro perk. But now every survivor will see the anti-face cam mechanic. So face camping is even going to be more impossible, like more impossible. Downright almost completely impossible with that.
He will see the resolve bar filling on the HUD. So he'll be able to tell, one, that I'm being camped, but also what the progress is.
And I want to tell you how this goes into the killer's mind, right? Because they don't really consider what the killer's thinking. As a killer, the first thing I think when I see this is, okay, now I need to play against every single team like they're a 4-man Swift. I need to assume they're all 4-man Swifts, every single one of them, whether they are or not. I have to 100% in my brain go into the match with that in my mind and prepare for it and play like I'm playing against a 4-man Swift because of things like this.
Is on that camp meter. The next thing is the meter will fill up faster based on how long the killer stays within proximity of the hook. So this is really cool because first we've also decreased the rate at which it fills baseline. So the killer's not penalized for walking by or anything like that. It's really just if you spend a lot of time near the hook, it will fill up much faster, up to 200% of the life value, which is 10 charges per second.
Bro, the survivors are going to try so hard to macro this. They're going to try so hard to pressure the killer to go near the hook, but then run away from the hook really fast and try to build up the anti-face camp. They're 100% going to do it because I would. I see the meter on my screen. I'm going to run near the hook, maybe even with reassurance. I think this could actually cause reassurance to get buffed. Or not buffed, but get used more. And I get close to the hook, right? It pressures the killer to try to defend the hook, gets really close to it. I run away now, maybe with Sprint Burst Vigil even, have it 99. And then all of a sudden that 200% goes up. The killer thinks you're still nearby. He doesn't realize you've run across the map. And next thing you know, boom, they unhook themselves. And now you're dealing with somebody who probably has 800, base kit anti-tunnel mechanics built in. I don't really know why they're doing this, because I really truly do not feel like camping has been at all an issue. So for them to come into it and try to do something, it seems odd. This feels like an inherent waste of man hours, basically. I get they're trying to just try things, but someone has to program all this shit, this is someone putting a lot of time into this mechanic. It's not just appearing and they're oh, let's test it, why not? No, some dude's been sitting in a basement, probably Chandler Riggs, working on this in 240p for the past 3 months.
And then the last thing we did as well is we increased the range of the anti-face camp radius to 20 meters. So it's a little bit...
Apparently it's a low MMR issue. Did I get that wrong at the beginning, that he said that the anti-face camp mechanic has a huge impact at lower MMR, that all the survivors are escaping because the brand new killers don't realize you're not allowed to face camp? Dude, I don't know. Like the weird thing is that like the devs will make some of this go through the PTB, like just like they do with pallet density. Like some things that get like they all bombard you with so much at once that some things can slip through the cracks, right? Like if the pallet density was the only thing in that PTB, it never would have went through. But because they did so much, they were able to slide it under the radar, which is what I said they would do. You know, I made a tweet about it that the devs already know what they want to actually push through, and all this other stuff is just to get you like your attention, sort of. And I was 100% right about it.
More punishing in a way if you decide to stick within, 20 meters with a hatchet pulled out, or
20 meters? Oh, they increased the range of the anti-face camp radius? Bro, 20 meters? That's like the entire terror radius. Are they insane? 20 meters for the anti-face camp mechanic at 200%? Oh, nah. What do they want, dude? They're homogenizing. Like they literally want every single match you play in Dead by Daylight to go the exact same way. I'm like the exact same way. They don't want there to be any variety in this game at all. Oh God, I really think they're gonna kill the game. Like genuinely, I think they're gonna kill it. I think we should just stick with Outlast.
other scenarios. Oh, right. And there's one last thing I forgot. So initially, when you hook a survivor, there's a 7-second grace period before the meter starts filling up. But that wouldn't only apply to when you hook that specific survivor. So in my example, where you hook a second survivor in the basement, that first survivor that you hooked will still be filling up that meter. Now, with the upcoming PTB, if you hook a second survivor, it will put the grace period on all hooked survivors within the area that you're in. So you won't be penalized for doing that.
Dude, okay. Let me just explain again, because clearly this guy needs help with his job. If you have a 20-meter anti-camp, 200% self-unhook, the chances that you ever hook two people in the basement at the same time or two people in the same place at the same time is nearly impossible, because that person is already going to be unhooking themselves 20 minutes earlier. But let's say that this wild thing happens at some point where maybe they make a really bad misplay and they get to the basement at the last second and they're forced to try to get the unhook, and maybe you down them while they're trying to get the unhook, and now you have two people down in the basement. You're never going to hook that second person, ever. You're just going to slug them. Do you know why you're going to slug them? Because that way the anti-face camp mechanic doesn't activate, because that person is down in the basement next to the hook. You would never hook the second person, because then what do you have to do? Even if you had two people hooked in the basement, your only play in that situation would still be to walk to the other side of the map, close your eyes, and pretend you never hooked two people in the basement. You literally can't punish survivors for their bad plays at all. So like adding something like that is just completely it's a facade. It sounds like it's a good thing, but in practice it has no impact at all.
And here we have a beautiful video of Meg watching Claudette's demise, and I zoomed in on. Oh, maybe we want. Yeah, thank you. I zoomed in on the HUD so that we can see the resolve bar filling, and so that's the first thing you'll notice, is that it's visible. But the second thing you'll notice is that as the trapper just sticks around there, it'll fill up faster and faster, which is what we were saying. Well, what I was just saying about
is this going to fill
based on how long you stayed near the hook. And
he's like directly face camping her though.
The visible resolve bar, you'll see.
I wish he would go further away.
Teammates make more informed decisions about the state of the game, right? Like in terms of macro, what's going on.
Bro, like look, you get him here, and then like he thinks you're around the hook, and you run away, and in like 2 seconds, they're oh my god, when it goes to 200, it's like instant.
We're putting you on the next PTB so you guys can test it and give us some insight as to how it feels and what it's like.
And I'll jump in there just because, thank you. That's the point I was going to say. You'll probably get sick of me saying it. We really are testing these features in the next PTB. Don't like start being really upset that this is already in the game and I hate it. What we want to do is test it. We want to get your feedback with hands-on, not just based on the information. try it out. Let us know how,
Okay, Eric, let me explain something real quick. Okay, because I've seen him say this on Twitter many times. PTB is for testing thing, guys. It doesn't mean it's actually coming to the game. But there's two things that he's either willingly like ignoring or just not talking about. One is that it shows us where the developers' minds are at with what they're putting in like the game, what they're trying to test to put in the game. And it's very alarming because it's completely disconnected from the actual game itself, right? It's completely disconnected. So it makes us feel like you guys are on a different planet. Like you're, and it's just like, it gives us a feeling of hopelessness, right? Because it's like, wow, if they're this detached from the actual game, like we're fucking doomed, man. The ship is going straight into the iceberg and there's no stopping it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the man hours. Your game is in a disastrous state, and it's not because of camping or tunneling. I know that most people say they uninstalled because of that, but let's be honest. The people that uninstall are whiny, and of course they're just going to complain about the most obvious thing. How do I word this? It's like you're putting so many man hours into dumb things like this, testing out dumb things like this that should have never left the conference room, right? But I guarantee you, I already know how it goes. They're sitting in a meeting room, right? There's 12 people sitting at a table. There's one guy in a t-shirt acting cool, like he knows what he's talking about, at the top. He's going like, all right, guys, this is what we're gonna do. Does everyone like this idea? Everyone nods. Okay, then that's what we're gonna do, right? There's no pushback. Nobody really has like a firm grasp of. They're not like they don't have their boots in the trenches. And that's how you kind of get to this, I think. But it's just such a waste of dev hours. Such a waste of dev hours. They could be doing so many more practical things, bug fixes. Fixing killers that are just like left behind completely. It may be incorporating a build allowance system that actually does a good job of balancing the game without just nerfing everything in existence or buffing things out of the universe to make them viable. Like maybe we just put a build allowance currency system in and let things actually be interesting, but for a price, right? But no, none of that's going to happen. We're just going to waste hundreds and hundreds of hours of man hours, paid man hours, to put something in a PTB that everybody hates before it goes into the PTB, plays it, hates it, and then you're forced not to put it in. Like, it's like, do you not see that? It's not that it's fine to test things if you actually have really done your homework and you know, okay, this has a real shot at being good. Like the build currency system I just mentioned would be a good thing to test at a PTB, right? Because hey, that could actually make the game really, really good if it works. Maybe it doesn't, but it could. We're running in circles doing the same thing over and over again with no progress. So maybe we should try a different alternative, right? Anyway.
How it feels if you're a killer, how it feels if you're a survivor, and then we'll go from there and see what we're going to do. And that's the case for each of the things that we're going to present today.
Yes, and everything else as well. Right, so let's move on to the next one. What is tunneling? Well, tunneling is usually described when you go for the same survivor
it's
until they are
again,
out of
bro.
the match. Here we can see Nia with zebra pants being targeted by the skull merchant. Maybe that expresses my feelings towards zebra pants. Maybe it doesn't. That's for you to figure out.
Maybe it tells us your feelings towards Skull Merchant.
So, key data points. Throughout 2025, we have seen a slight drop in tunneling. So these percentages are...
Wait, are they saying this is how many matches survivors are tunneled in? There's no way, dude. There's no fucking way that this is what they're trying to tell us. How do they even have that data? How? What is that based on? You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. There's not tunneling happening in 40% of anybody's matches. Not anybody. Nobody. Unless you're brand new to the game and you go down so quick in chase that you think you're being tunneled just because of how bad you are at the game. tunneling does not happen this often. Real tunneling, where the killer just aggressively chases you until you're dead. It's not 40 fucking percent. I really hope that I'm misunderstanding this. How do you even get that data? Like, it will say I'm a survivor, I get hooked and I give up on hook instantly. Did I get tunneled? There's no way this is real.
Or the the average percentage of tunneling happening in matches.
Bullshit, bro. No
40% of
chance.
matches will or had tunneling occurrences in January.
No, it didn't. I was slugging everybody to death. And there's no way. There's no way. I'm sorry. I don't know where you guys got, like, what Excel fucking data bag gave you this information, but it's just based on nothing. I don't understand this.
There's different ways that we're analyzing it. The first one is
is it that the killer killed somebody is tunneling? Because that's the only thing that makes sense here. Or maybe it's that the killer killed somebody before 6 hooks. Maybe that's what they consider tunneling in their data, which is just so stupid.
You go for one survivor and only one survivor from the start of the
That's tunneling, yes.
match.
That's
there's
tunneling.
also when you go for consecutive hooks, not necessarily the first survivor that you find, but you just get the second survivor out of the match quickly.
No, he didn't just say it. He tried so hard to skip over it. Do you guys realize what he just said? He said that it's tunneling if you're later on in a match, you haven't been tunneling anybody, you've just been chasing, and all of a sudden you realize, hey, I've already hooked this Nia twice. If I chase her, then now I'm in a 3v1. If you go for her in that situation, now you've officially tunneled somebody. There's no fucking way this Reddit user is like one of the lead designers. Please show mercy on me that this guy didn't just imply that. There's no way he's saying that. That anytime you prioritize getting a kill, it's tunneling? Anytime in a match? Bro, we're so cooked. Get out of the game, guys. Get your fucking tickets. Get on a lifeboat. Reserve your seat. This ship is going down. Holy shit, there's no hope.
And then there's the last one, which I'm completely blanking out on. But this is the overall of all these scenarios that we analyzed with the data.
There's another version of tunneling he can't even remember. He's like, guys, he's like, I don't remember what it was, but there's another version of tunneling. I can't. Maybe he was gonna say like soft tunneling where you bounce between two like survivors. I have no idea, but he's like, there's just another version of tunneling. What if you feel like you got tunneled, you got tunneled, okay? If you feel like you got tunneled.
And as you can see, this morning, when I got the last bit of data, it's down to 40%, which is a 4% drop. It's pretty important.
Good job.
And then if we look at the breakdown by MMR, we see the opposite of what we saw with camping. So low MMR killers tend to tunnel less than high MMR killers, which is also interesting. And, we could extrapolate as to why. One hypothesis is that high MMR survivors are just more efficient. So therefore, tunneling feels like the most efficient way to, combat their efficiency. But that's another thing that you guys can, theory craft on and help us understand. And then in terms of maps, the treatment theater has the highest percentage of tunneling, and Gas Heaven has the lowest. And same thing as with camping. Why we would have to do a deep dive and try to understand exactly why this is.
I hope this doesn't mean that they think Gas Haven is a great map for tunneling, or is like a great map for anti-tunnel, because that means they're going to design more maps like Gas Haven, which is easily one of the most survivor-sided maps in the entire game. And I can't even I couldn't theory craft on this, guys, because your definition for tunneling isn't real. It doesn't make any sense. So if you come in here and you tell me the treatment theater, for some reason the killer is tunneling so heavily, your definition is so fucking loose for tunneling that these statistics don't even make sense. And all it tells you is, hey, we should make more maps like Gas Haven. No, please God, don't. Please God, don't make more maps like Gas Haven.
The case, but I thought it was interesting that treatment theater. I definitely didn't expect that one to be, number one, but it is. The map is pretty strong for survivors, so
hey, at least he knows.
To do with that. But again,
at least he knows that. That's
theory craft. Go for it. I think it's super cool to see all the discussions happen.
He's a data rat, I'm guessing.
So, what are the goals with tunneling? We want to ensure that every player's time is respected.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Like, again, let's be honest. Let's rewrite the script. Okay. Let's rewrite it. Maybe I can even rewrite it for you. Like, we could do it like this. We could do like this, and then we could come down here. Bah. Yeah, maybe like that. There you go. Does that look better? Because that's what they really mean. So I took Survivor, though. Does it matter that I put Survivor? There we go. Why am I cap locked? There you go. Now it means what it actually says. We want to make sure that every survivor's time is respected. What the fuck does tunneling have to do with killer's time being respected? Guys, we're putting in all this anti-tunnel because we want the experience to be better for survivors and killers, okay? Okay, dude. Stop trying. The subtlety ain't working. We want to ensure that queuing up means you get to play. Oh, oh no. Holy shit, it's like straight out of Reddit.
And we also want to make sure that when you queue up, it means that you get to play the match. I'm sure that our Survivor players have already had this happen to them where they go into a match and they're out within like the first 2 minutes. And it never really feels nice because...
Oh, it's like he's saying the same thing about the Franklin's demise shit. It doesn't really feel nice, does it, guys? When you have a bad match because the killer prioritizes getting you out of the game. Man. It just doesn't, we all know it doesn't feel good. What doesn't feel good when you play killer? Huh? This is the music that should be playing during this, by the way. Let me just put this on since the devs are glazing the survivor so hard. We need the world's smallest violin playing in the background.
Sometimes you queue up for a little bit longer than that, sometimes even longer based on, what kind of game modes are on.
What? The survivors in the long queue time? Oh, the poor survivor. They waited so long to get into a match only to die. When obviously they're supposed to win every match. What is this? You piece of shit killer players. Don't you know how long that survivor waited in that queue, you piece of fucking dog shit killer player? Do you know? Yeah, I know you waited 10 minutes, but who gives a shit about you? Look at that survivor. Look at his face. That's a person, all right? That's a person, and you just killed them in a video game. How do you feel about it? You sick piece of shit. You fucking animal.
I'm
gonna have like a stroke.
When you queue up, we would like you to be able to play the game and just have fun, which is the most important part. And we also want to ensure that player agency is retained, and I'll expand on that a little bit, and I think it's the next slide or the one after that, but we want to ensure that player agency is retained, and we want to put the onus on the survivor. So
the onus on the survivor.
Onus.
Thank you.
What does he mean? He wants to put the... Can anyone explain to me what that just meant? He wants to put the onus on survivor? I'm so lost. Because it doesn't sound like it. All right, let's continue this sob story here.
I feel smart. So the key learnings from the PTB. The first one is that the players found the proposed solution too intrusive, and to refresh everyone's memory, on the PTB, the last PTB that we had the unhook protections for survivors, we had the killer penalties if you did tunnel, we had the killer bonuses, and all of these things together felt like it was a little too much, which is a very fair point. And I think that the last PTB gave us some really good insight as to what worked and what didn't. So I want to say thank you for all
What
the feedback
worked?
that you guys gave, because it
What
really
worked?
helped us. It helped inform our next steps for this feature. The second point is what I was just saying from the previous slide, is that players want to retain their agency. They want to be able to make those decisions. They want to be able to make the call. They want to be able to play the game the way they want without being told you can't do that or you can't do this.
I guarantee you whatever's going to come out of his mouth next, I guarantee you is going to take away all player agency. Because if you really wanted player agency, you wouldn't be hand-holding like this. You wouldn't. Like, hand-holding is the absolute opposite of player agency. So I don't know why, like, it's literally doing the exact opposite of what you say your goal is. It makes no sense. Sup, Cosmo?
Which again is a very, very fair point. And then to build up on that, a lot of players felt that the solution in the previous PTB held their hand too much. So it was,
They felt like it did. No, it just did. They didn't feel like it did.
So you got the
It
aura
just did.
reveal, and then I think the way that it was described, which I thought was
Wait, did he just say all of the hand holding was on the killer side? Bro, he said there was too much hand holding, and every example he gave was from the killer's perspective. He said, you get the free aura reveal, you get the free gen kick pop. Like, what? The hand holding was on the killer's side? Hold on.
Good use of the word onus.
Thank you. Thank you. Insight as to what worked and what didn't. So see, they want much. So it was, you got a unique hook. So now you get like a gen kick bonus, or you got the aura reveal. And then I think the way that it was described, which I thought was
I'm dead, bro. There's no way this guy just fucking said this and everybody in the room just sat there stone-faced. I would have fucking just lost my mind. Look at these guys. They're like, what? What? That's the part that's hand-holdy? Have we lost our fucking collective minds? Are we getting paid for this? There's no way. There's no way. Megamind here has no idea what he's talking about, bro. Oh, how can you watch this? What are the people in the chat saying? Truth nuke? That was... Bro. Get out while you still can.
really good way to describe it was that it felt very, very cookie cutter. There was like
What did he say? He said the players complained too much that in the last PTB that there was way too much hand-holding, and then every example he gave of hand-holding was things they gave to the killer, like Basekit, barbecue and chili, Basekit, pop goes the weasel, for just getting a I love how they always say that, just getting a unique hook. I had to do was get a unique hook. It wasn't even like a thing, you know. Okay, dude. Do it then. Go play high MMR for a day. Let's try it. Like, we really need the devs to play high MMR killer for a day, and they'll be like, I'm just bad. Mm-hmm.
There was one right way to play the game, and if you didn't do it, then you were kind of like shooting yourself in the foot, which is not super cool.
That's what Almo said, by the way. He said that all these anti-face camp, anti-slug, all this anti-stuff they're putting in the game is basically making the game linear, streamlined, and there's only one path to victory, so every match is going to feel the same. And it's not interesting anymore, right? They're taking chess and they're turning it into checkers. That's kind of what the devs are doing here with all of this. Like, they're taking this super complex, interesting game that can go in all these different directions, and they're like, no, like, it's just fucking checkers now. And it's boring. Like, nobody wants to play that.
What's next?
Can I just say before you say what?
Yes.
Watching chat hang on every bullet, reacting to each bullet before you get to the next one is great. It's great.
So it's positive.
People
good
are
stuff.
locked in and they have
Okay,
lots
good,
of thoughts
good. I'm
before
glad-
they know what you're going to do.
Great. I'm glad that the PowerPoint is working.
Every word.
DVD
So,
will unironically
what's
kill
next?
itself. Yeah.
The first one is that survivors will get their unhook protections. And I'm going to go into more detail what each of these means.
This, by the way, this isn't a handhold. Okay. This isn't a handhold. It's actually the reverse of a handhold, if you think about it. Because the killer trying to just instantly attack the same person after they get off hook, now that would be handholding. All you have to do is just easily hit somebody when they get off hook. So if anything, we're just giving the killer more agency by giving the survivor 35 minutes of armor when they get off of a hook, you know?
So this is just like a high level of what is next. The killer will get some bonuses.
They get some. We haven't even figured it out. We'll give them something. Maybe they'll get like an extra 10 blood points. Who fucking cares? Stupid killer banes.
More killer penalties, which I think was the most
There are no more
polarizing,
killer
topic in the previous
penalties.
PTB is the penalties.
What were the
there's no more
penalties? I don't even remember.
We're good?
We're good,
I thought there was something else. Okay.
I'll
Well,
jump
let me
in
think
if
about that for a second. What were the killer penalties in the last PTB for tunneling? Was it was that when you killed somebody before 6 hooks, gens didn't regress anymore, right? That's what it was. If you killed somebody before 6 hooks, gens just literally would not regress ever again for the rest of the trial. Yeah.
I need to be. You're
All
doing
right.
great.
Good.
They got rid of
so
that.
unhook protections.
I can't wait to see how they're going to compensate it, though. They probably think that's the craziest thing they've ever done, and now they're going to compensate it like enormously.
It is the same, but there are some differences with what was on the last PTB. So you still get 10% haste. You still get the endurance status effect, which means that if you get hit, you'll go into deep wound instead of going down. There's the new status effect elusive, which means that you cannot be revealed. You will leave no pools of blood, no scratch marks, and you make no grunts of pain.
There's still no unhook notification?
One thing that we added as well is that you will make no sounds, so you won't be coughing or puking or stuff like that, because some killers had very clever ways of bypassing the system.
God, aren't killers nefarious cocksuckers that they would come up with the idea that you could still hear a survivor coughing or puking? Those fucking little pieces of shit, man. Like, they'll find any little thing they can do to get around our mechanics. I hate them. I hate killer players. All they do is just connive in the darkness together like rats. They probably have a Discord where they all tell each other these little fucking cringe ideas of how they're going to get around our mechanics. I hate them. Anyway.
In the previous PTB, you still do not accumulate AFK points, so AFK crows will not come into play if you are under the unhook protections. You will still see the killer's aura within 32 meters. And these are still lost when performing a conspicuous action or when being healed a full health state. And
being healed a full health state is at least good, because like, don't get me wrong, but it's really silly when somebody's fully healed, you hit them and then you hit them again and they still have off the record or something underneath their fucking full heal. It's so stupid. But seeing the killer's aura within 32 meters is crazy. You have to remember that that's a call out that's going out to the whole team in a Swift, right? So you're getting punished for hooking massively. You're gonna hook somebody, and every single time they get unhooked, they're gonna call out your position to the entire team. Which don't get me wrong, is probably gonna lead to open-handed becoming way more popular if this works with open-handed. So what radius is that they're always gonna know where the killer is? Which right now, in my opinion, I think undetectable is the strongest thing in Dead by Daylight, because pre-running is so strong. So this could be this pretty much makes it to where if you're not playing an S tier, just don't even bother. Just literally don't even show up, because you're just gonna lose automatically. Yeah.
I think it's also important to remind people that when it's in endgame, these bonuses are mostly turned off. The only ones that are on are the 10% haste and endurance that are granted for 10 seconds, which is what it is currently on live. So here we have a video again. Meg is the star of the show. She gets unhooked, and I zoomed in on the status effects. You can see there's the endurance, there's the haste, and there's elusive. You see
Dude, great looping skills, by the way.
The survivor basically has a lot of tools.
So you have Basekit babysitter, essentially.
Avoid the killer. This specific instance is a bot killer, so it just...
Okay, he's being stupid on purpose,
I
I
can't
hope.
outplay it.
Or he was using the... Did he just use it? Dude, I think he just used it, like, defensively. To let, like, you know what I mean? Like, to waste the killer's time. I think even in the example he gave, he used it defensively. Wait, like, I wonder, like, do the killers still have collision? Can they walk through you? Because if they can't, imagine, like, 30 seconds of armor on every unhooked person. And they see your aura, so they can always come for the easiest body block imaginable, because they literally see your aura. So they know exactly if you're chasing another survivor, they have 30 seconds to run over to you and, like, get the easy-ass body block. That's crazy. And you might say, well, like, even if there is no collision, you can still put yourself inside the hitbox of your teammate. So it doesn't matter. Like, collision or no collision, you're still forced to hit the survivor if they're playing defensively.
As well is, I'm going to play it again, just because I was talking about... Oh, can I go back? Okay.
PowerPoint can do that.
Yeah, I have the clicker. I have the power, though, which is great.
Look how much endurance
you noticed
have.
as well is that Meg was trying to, stop the killer from go after Jake, which is one of the key differences that we have compared to the last PTB, which is that the survivor no longer loses collision with unhook protections. So, key differences. We have removed the new collision from unhook protections.
Are you saying that like it's a good thing? Like, I don't know. I think it would be better if there was no collision. Like, I get they could body block anyway, but now it's even, like, it literally is even easier to do it. Right? You could block a doorway or whatever. Like, you don't have to put any effort into it. At least with the no collision, you still had to put in... It was more difficult to take the hit. This is literally, like, just so stupid.
Decrease the killer aura reveal to 10 seconds, so it doesn't last the entire duration of the unhook protections. And you might ask why? Well, we saw in the previous BTB that survivors were weaponizing both of these effects to go for aggressive
You don't
plays,
say.
As opposed to trying to survive, which is the intended goal of the unhook protections, is to put you in a spot where you can make better decisions to survive. What we saw was that killers who were actively...
It's almost like you're taking... Okay, so let me explain player agency to you, my friend. The survivor, when they get unhooked in the live game, not in your PTB, in the live game, when a survivor gets unhooked and they have armor, they have a choice. They can go and they can try to get the killer's attention, right? Because, hey, I have armor. Maybe the killer chases me. Maybe the killer hits me and my teammate gets away. Maybe that works out for my team and we win the game. Or maybe I get hit and the killer continues to chase me, downs me, and puts me on a hook again. And now the game has gone in a completely different direction. That's player agency. That's players making real life choices within your sandbox that lead to an outcome. What you're doing is you're stepping in with your fucking little whistle and your referee shirt, and you're forcing everybody to play the game in the way you want them to play the game. That is not player agency. You're taking player agency away, and it's very simple. It's a very simple concept, in my opinion, that it is anyway.
Trying to not tunnel were being punished by these things. Right, moving on. Killer bonuses. So upon a unique hook, which is hooking a different survivor from the last. So I got hooked, and then Diego gets hooked.
Killer bonus.
That's a unique bonus. Sorry.
I tried.
So the first one is that you will gain Bloodlust for 15 seconds.
Bloodlust.
And the second is that you gain a stackable blood point multiplier on your match score. And the last thing that we did different from...
Yeah, stackable blood point multiplier on your match score. So they're bringing in like old school Basekit, barbecue, and chili, probably. No, it's not going to be that good, right? First hooks are now 750 BP. Yeah, it's not that good. It's just a little bit. It's not like a bad thing to do. I think this is good. I don't know why he said Bloodlust. Was that a typo? Did he mean haste? Buff score events relating to hooks.
the previous PTB is that we have buffed a series of score events related to hooks. So now when you, for example, when you get a first hook on a survivor, you get 750 blood points instead of, I think it was 200. It was very low. Maybe 500. I'm not sure. I should have put it. Anyway, I forgot. So here's a video of the bonuses in action. I cut the previous part before that moment because I was being looped by the Megbot for so long and I was so embarrassed. So I just cut to the point where I downed her.
It stings the nostrils to hear something like that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know we said it as a joke, but like, again, you know what I mean. Like, yeah, man, that got into a 15-year chase with the Megbot. It's probably because she's an M1 killer and she has wall hacks, but you know, who could ever know? Blood points don't add, yeah, but that's the thing. They don't understand the killer experience, so they think just throw blood points, which is exactly what we said at the beginning when he said there'd be some killer bonuses. I just thought blood points, right? Because that's like their go-to solution anytime they panic. All right, guys, we fucked up the game. Here's 20,000 times blood points for the next 3 days. Like,
So as you can see here, I hook her. I have the Bloodlust bonus, so I'm moving slightly faster. And you can see the golden marker on the hook counter, which
wait, it's actually Bloodlust.
Play with, I'm a survivor main, but when I play with Deja Vu and I have that yellow bar, it feels really nice. So having that golden marker right there feels just as good.
That's good UX. That's good UX. That's why
did they give you Bloodlust?
We've been working together to be sure that it's also as understandable as.
Did they give you Bloodlust because they don't want it to work with any haste perks? They don't want there to be any synergy? Is that why? Oh, wait a second. It won't work with the mobility. So like if you're like Blight or something, you won't get any bonus. If you're a high, like a mobile killer, you won't get any bonus. That's why they would have done it. Yeah, that makes sense. Because if you're like going into a Blight rush, you'll immediately lose it. Where if you had haste, you would keep the haste. That's actually a little clever. I don't have anything bad to say about that. I think that's kind of clever.
Possible when you're meeting this feature and it's enjoyable, even if you already know it by heart as a new player, as a engaged player. So every little effect that we work together, like also the fire that we used to have on the generator, that's UX. Yeah,
it feels really good. And then I'm gonna replay it again, just because there was a portion that we missed. But one thing that's important to note is that our more advanced players will probably ask the reason why Bloodlust, like it resets or goes down when you're not in chase, or there are rules with Bloodlust because it is a mechanic that we have in the game where it builds up during chase and you lose it if you break a pallet or if you hit a survivor, and there's all these things. So for this particular instance of Bloodlust, you will keep it until you use.
I wonder if this will work with broken fingernails on Sadako.
Blight, I guess. Or if you enter a chase. And the reason why is because with internal testing, we found that if you had Bloodlust and you would just enter a chase, you could just continue building it up to tier 2 and tier 3, and that felt quite oppressive in certain scenarios. And
never mind, guys. You lose it when you get into a chase. So the entire aspect of trying to make M1 killers stronger is not there. I mean, it's still not the worst thing ever, but like, it's pretty silly that you lose it the second you get into chase. Like, they couldn't just create like a new mechanic, like add something that's not Bloodlust or haste. You know what I mean? Like, was it that difficult to just implement a new mechanic? Instead of Bloodlust, they could have had Bloodthirst or something. Bloodthirsty. I wouldn't say it's completely pointless, but it's like, it's just okay. I think like for killers like Pyramid Head or Clown or like, well, maybe not Clown because he uses haste. Will it stack with haste? Does Bloodlust stack with haste? It should, right? Are they gonna have some like thing against that too? Hold on, let me rewind this like a second. Because like you think, okay, Clown is like a killer that has horrible map pressure, but like he gets downs really quick. So like, would he be able to use this?
You know, too bad for Blight, I guess. Or if you enter a chase. And the reason why is because with internal testing, we found that if you had Bloodlust and you would just enter a chase, you could just continue building it up to, you know, tier 2 and tier 3. And that felt quite oppressive.
So this isn't really true Bloodlust then.
And of course, I will remind everyone, this is to test on the next BTB. So if you test it with the current iteration where it's tier 1 Bloodlust and you have feedback on that, please give that feedback. It's really, really crucial for us to develop this feature. And then the last bit over here is, again, I chased Claudette for so long to try to hook her a second time, and I just skipped to the part where I downed her. And now I hooked Claudette for a second time in a row, so I didn't get the golden hook marker, and I didn't get any bonuses from that. So that means I do not get a multiplier from that specific hook, and I also do not get Bloodlust. And I think
Wait, is there no more base kit pop for a unique hook at all? Did they just get rid of the base kit pop? Did he really say that was so handholdy we got rid of the base kit pop and the base? Like, I could understand the base kit order reading, but the base kit pop isn't there at all. The only good part of the entire the entire system, base kit pop, is gone. You just get a fucking golden sticker to stick on your Elmer's collection. Like what is this? Nobody's gonna give a fuck about 750 blood points. Nobody. Not anybody's gonna give a shit about that, or 10 seconds of haste or whatever the hell that is. Are we serious?
that's something really important to note is the blood point multiplier is based on the total count of unique hooks that you have and not the sequence or the streak that you have. So if you happen to get 3 unique hooks,
oh my god, they're really going hard on the giving a shit about the blood points and the gold star.
You're not going to lose that.
Bro, how about you give survivors a gold star or something? You know what I mean? Like, how about when you get unhooked, you get a gold star? You get 1,500 blood points every time you get unhooked. Like, instead of 45 seconds of endurance armor.
Multiplier that you accumulated so far, which is, I think, really cool. So, I word vomited about a lot of stuff. I apologize. It's a lot of information. But
like I said, people are locked in. You're doing fine.
I'm really glad because I'm like, before I was like, there's a lot of slides, there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and I was very worried. So the fact that people are locked in.
This is my dream come true, Jeff. You're making my dreams come true.
Cool. Much handling.
So key differences. Like I mentioned, we swapped the haste bonus for Bloodlust. We have removed the bonus generated damage on the next kick, and we removed the aura reveal.
No way! No way! Oh, it just gets worse and worse. It's like, oh, you think we're not done yet? Bro, hold my beer. Like, this is ridiculous. This is fucking ridiculous. Get out of the building. Run. It's coming down.
Also dubbed Basekit Barbecue. And I want to really quickly touch upon each of these. So the reason why we switched haste to Bloodlust is specifically because haste doesn't have a limit to how it stacks with killer powers. So that means that if you, for example, played the Spirit and you got haste from a unique hook, that would stack with the haste that you got from your power.
And we don't want people to get unique hooks, guys. We don't want people to get unique hooks and be rewarded for it. That's just not what we want. But it is also what we pretend we want. But it's not what we want. Just try to follow along here, okay? We if you get a unique hook, you shouldn't be rewarded, but you are rewarded. You get the blood points. Shut your mouth and deal with it.
Which basically makes a strong killer even stronger, and that's not usually what we like. We don't want to make, you know, the gap between weaker killers and stronger killers wider. We want to try to make it smaller. So using Bloodlust allows us to do that because, again, if you use your power, you will not get the full benefit, unlike...
So just again, to kind of give this like a little bit of context, they want to make the gap between lower killers and higher killers smaller. So how do they do that? By nerfing higher killers down. But they want to make solo queue and Swift, they want to get rid of that gap, right? So what do? They buff solo queue to Swift. But to high tier killers, they nerf downwards. Do you see how the pendulum is? Solo queue goes up, good killers go down. Beep.
Someone like Trapper, for example, not likely to use his traps for mobility, so he'll probably get the full benefit from this bonus. And then the next two it goes back to what I was saying, where a lot of players felt that it would hold their hands into how they played the game, and it felt very...
Dude, every single time I got a base kit pop on the PTB, I felt like the devs were just holding my hand. I was like, man, all I had to do was fucking find somebody, chase them, down them, put them on a hook, and go all the way to the generator that needs to be kicked and kick it. Like, you may as well just put me in a fucking wheelchair at that point and just wheel me around the map, because holy shit, it's like I'm not even playing. What really felt like my hand wasn't being held is when I had 40 seconds of invincibility. That's when I felt like, holy shit, I gotta think about what I'm gonna do in this situation with 40 seconds of nothing can happen to me. That's where the hand holding definitely wasn't involved.
Cookie cutter. Like, there was one right way to play: is you would get a uni hook, you would go to a gen, you would kick that gen, then you would see the aura, and you would go to there, and you would just rinse.
Oh my god, it was so streamlined, it was so handholdy. I didn't even have to use my brain.
Whole sequence over and over again. And one of the things that we came to realize after the last PTB is that goes against some of our core pillars. One of our core pillar is chaos, and not chaos in the sense that everything is all over the place, but things are unpredictable, right? The player has, and the second one is player agency. So the player has control in how they want to play the game and how they want.
Let's just make sure you understand what he means when he says player.
To approach each different scenario. And I think that's really important. And the unpredictable chaos comes from those player decisions. And so if we put a feature in that removes that, then we are not true to our core pillars. And that's usually a no-go for things in game development. So, all right. This is the last slide for tunneling specifically. The following perks and add-ons will be updated. So furtive chase, babysitter, borrowed time, breakdown.
Okay, so let's take a guess. I don't even know what furtive chase does anymore. Doesn't it make it to where, like, when you hook the obsession, something happens? I literally don't remember. Babysitter, they made base kit, so they have to come up with like a new thing for it. Either it's going to extend what's already base kit and make it even more base kit, but base kit, borrow time, base kit, so the even more base kit, no idea. Breakdown, I'm assuming, I hope to God they're nerfing it, because if they want people to go for a lot of hooks, just getting rid of the hooks becomes a way more powerful strategy. So I hope that they just they're reworking it or nerfing it or something, for the love of God. Off the record, they made base kit, so I don't know. Off the record might be now that it might be that feature they had where when you get unhooked, there's no noise notification for the killer, because I think they got rid of that. So they might make that the new off the record. Wicked, they're gonna buff it probably. I don't know why it's here or how it pertains to anything with this update. It feels very strange that Wicked is here, but I'm guessing they're gonna buff it. Original Pain, this is the Pinhead add-on that gets rid of Deep Wound. It's really good for tunneling, right? Somebody gets unhooked, you hit them with Original Pain, you could instantly down them. So it bypasses the all the anti-camp. That can't be allowed to exist, so we have to get rid of it, or else people will play Pinhead, and we don't ever want anybody to play Pinhead. Soma Family Photo, I'm not super familiar with Singularity add-ons, but I think it is something to do with endurance as well. I think it bypasses endurance or something like that. I can't remember. And here we go, Syringe and Styptic Agent. They're probably going to nerf them, but I doubt they're going to nerf them heavily. Maybe Styptic gets nerfed heavily. But I don't know, can they? I don't know if the devs have the capability to nerf these things in a way that matters. Genuinely. I don't think they have what it takes. It's the same add-on as Cenobite, so it just bypasses Deep Wound, basically. It puts, I'm guessing it puts survivors in Deep Wound when they get hit by a pod, right? So then basically you hit them again and Deep Wound isn't there. I see. Styptic. What could they do with Styptic? They'd probably want it to work in tangent with like endurance somehow. Maybe they're gonna make it to where Styptic immediately removes the endurance effect. Or I mean the not the endurance, the deep wound effect. So you get into deep wound and you use one of these and it instantly puts you out of deep wound the second you use it. Something like that. Anyway, let's see.
Off the Record and Wicked. And then for add-ons, Original Pain and Soma Family Photo are getting changes. And this is because our more advanced players may be aware that these allow you to bypass the endurance that you get from being unhooked. And, if a feature is supposed to help with surviving after being hooked, it doesn't make sense to keep these in the game. So, again, these will be available to test.
I'm a bit weirded out about Furtive Chase.
Give us some feedback on, the changes, if you like them, don't like them, why, and all that stuff. It's really, really useful. And then for the Syringe and Styptic Agent add-ons, they've been very notorious. They've been in the game for a while, and they've been very strong for a while. And so, given that there's a lot of stuff, helping out the survivors, I think that now's a good time to address those add-ons, specifically because they are very helpful in extending chases that would usually end earlier. So again, test out these changes and give us your feedback on them. It's very, very important.
Well,
and just to say, right, so when they're testing, when we're getting the feedback, it's not like a single switch where we're like, all right, this whole thing's going live. There's a lot that you just went through.
Yes.
Any number of those things could be changed,
Yes.
So
yes. And I think what's important is that, if a feature needs more time, we should take that time.
Yeah.
And this is a very good case for this because...
Hey, I just realized I should be watching this in Chandler Riggs quality.
It has a lot of implications, so we got to make sure it's right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now it's more realistic.
All right. What is slugging? So slugging is usually described as putting a survivor in the dying state and leaving them.
Here we go into slugging.
Now there is
and it's Skull Merchant again.
Slugging, which is for pressure. So here we have, that's Dwight, by the way, that's in the dying state. And the Skull Merchant is, seeing that there's a Nia on the side.
They're trying to push these changes because they wasted so much time making them. It's very possible. It could be a sunken cost. The bias is so obvious, bro. It's dripping off the walls. Usually described as putting a survivor in the dying state and leaving them there. Can you explain when it's not described that way, please? Like, when is it not described as what it is? Is it just, again, how you feel? Do you feel like if the killer hooks you, sometimes you've been slugged?
Just maybe waiting for a flashlight save, who knows? So she decides to chase the Nia. So that's slugging for pressure. And then you have the more evil Skull Merchant. Evil Skull Merchant. 4 Dwights, and they're all in the dying state. So the first one is good. We like that.
But okay, here's my question. If all 4 survivors are down, what does that tell us? What does it say to us? Because the survivors can all be in 4 different corners of the map. So how is it that they're all that close to the killer and they're all in the dying state? Is it maybe because the survivors were sniffing glue? Maybe they got too cocky, too arrogant. Maybe they tried to push gens while they were injured. Maybe they tried to go for unhooks while they were injured. They didn't take the time to heal, which only takes 2 seconds to do, but still. Maybe it's that player agency you were pretending to care about actually had an impact on those matches. Right. So slugging for pressure doesn't always just mean slugging one person. Sometimes it means slugging everybody. And you already put a mechanic in the game that allows everyone to instantly leave the game. The millisecond they're all slugged, they can instantly leave. So nobody's time is being wasted. Anyway.
This is a good thing. The second one, not so much.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, that's not what this is.
Overall, killers across all MMR tend to slug for about 30 seconds. So that's time spent in the dying state for survivors.
Oh, it's so unfun.
And overall, high MMR
Dude,
survivors...
every second you're in the dying state could be a second you were AFK on gens. Think about that. Every time you're AFK on the ground, you could have been AFK on gens instead. Holy shit. What a wasted amount of your life. You could have been AFK in an entirely different position. Overall, high MMR survivors spend less time in the dying state. Wow.
Less time in the dying state at
Crazy.
26 seconds, which means that higher MMR survivors will go for those pickups either faster or more efficiently, you know, by bringing perks or whatever. Anyway, that's what happens. So if we look at the comparison between January and now, we do see that survivors spend less time in the
30 seconds on average. What does that mean? What does this actually practically mean in any capacity? Are people being slugged for 30 seconds in a single match every time? Does this mean over the course of 20 matches they were slugged for 2 seconds in each match? Like, I don't know what any of this means. Does he know what it means? Does it sound like it's a problem for 26 seconds of slugging? Does that sound like an actual problem, a priority problem that needs to be addressed somehow by changing the entire game?
dying state. So this is 35 seconds in January, and then it went down to 34 seconds in June, and now it's down to 30 seconds.
So the problem's actively getting
the other thing that's really interesting
better, and you're still going to step in.
In January, there was about 4% of matches that would have bleed outs in them. So that's when you would fully die from being slugged, when your bleed out meter would just empty. And that's down to 2%, and it has been consistent with the release of the abandoned feature. So since the abandoned feature, we've seen a pretty significant drop in the time spent, the bleed out occurrence for survivors. And now this,
you know what? He thinks it's the abandoned mechanic, but it's not the abandoned mechanic. Again, let me step right on in and explain to you why there's less people bleeding out on the ground. Okay? There's less people bleeding out on the ground because you can't self-unhook anymore. So killers are hooking more because they're not worried that the survivor is going to just fucking get a free escape and reset the entire match as often, especially once they've all abandoned already and they're just playing against bots anyway. They don't care. They just want out of the match, but they don't want to abandon because they want to win the match, right? They want to get all their blood points. They don't want to be punished and abandon against a team that's already abandoned against them. So they hook a bunch of bots, and therefore there's less people bleeding out. That's the anscer.
This is really
it wasn't your abandoned mechanic
the
necessarily.
Time spent slugged is the
act like again the angle he's coming at this from is that, listen, the killers were purposely bleeding people out because they're pieces of shit assholes. They were purposely doing it because they're psychopaths. Look, no, there was practicality reasons involved.
To understand why or how, since I put this in the slide, and I am still not sure. Like, is it the layout of the map that makes it more difficult to find your teammates? I don't know, but it's the highest. And the lowest,
still did. I'm not gonna lie.
Is, contrary
been
to
going for a while now.
Camping portion is RCPD West Wing at 28 seconds, which is also interesting because I'm pretty sure that that one might be more confusing for survivors.
Bro, these margins are so tiny, it doesn't even matter.
I don't know.
I mean, it's fine, but it doesn't matter.
pallets for the game.
We're not going to address the pallets
They're just shouting the word pallet.
density. They're talking about
I'm
pallet
glad that they like
density,
pallets,
guys.
you know, that's cool.
That's literally what they're talking about.
So what are the goals for the slugging update? Obviously, our intention since
Unless
the start was to target
it's
excessive
it's
slugging while
possible actually that they're talking about the game having so many pallets on it that survivors go down under the pallet, therefore it's harder to actually hook. I think that's what they're probably actually shouting pallets for. But I mean, this guy's literally on the right shouting pallet density, remove the extra pallet. So it is pallet density, but it might be that some people there were talking about Gideon having so many pallets that it
slugging for pressure.
makes
so remember
it
the
slugging more
Stormer was
necessary.
chasing Nia and leaving Dwight on the ground. That's good. That's slugging for pressure.
That's good. We're gonna allow
we did
that.
have some key learnings from the previous PTB. So the first one was that players found that crawling while recovering was too strong.
You don't
So,
say.
For a bit of context, in the previous PTB, survivors could recover. Well, they recovered automatically while crawling, so you could move while recovering.
And by the way, this encouraged slugging unironically, because if a survivor crawled to a pallet that they didn't get down next to, then now you have no choice but to leave them slugged.
Which allowed you to reposition while also getting ready to be picked up, and it was very strong. And players were also faced with lose-lose scenarios because with the tunneling reduction feature and the penalties that were there, you couldn't get someone out because they were the last one that you hooked, but you also couldn't slug them because they could just pick themselves up.
He says that like, who could have known? Who could have known that if we punished the killer for absolutely every single thing in the game, they didn't have any options left? My goodness. We punished them so hard, they were literally couldn't do anything but 2 + 2 = 4 the entire match.
So that's a bit of an oversight on our part, but now this time that is not the case. So again, test it out and give us your feedback.
I will say,
Yes.
Jeff didn't do the pallet density stuff, so he's not going to speak to the pallet density stuff.
Oh yeah, no.
People are.
Sorry, not me, not yet.
When we get
Not
Mandy
yet.
back out here, she can give you an update.
So the next
Wait
one
a
is,
second. Did he just say Mandy was the one who put in the pallet density update? It's confirmed. All right. He said that Jeff doesn't know anything about it. It wasn't his department, but Mandy, let's get her out. I'm just kidding. I don't think Mandy has actually any say whatsoever over game design, but it is interesting. I would like to know how that works. Like there's some other guy on the team somewhere who was like, I'm adding in 7 trillion pallets, but not this guy.
is that the players felt the time to fill the resolve bar was too short. So on the previous PTB, if I remember correctly, it was 90 seconds, which is pretty short. But in the next PTB, it'll be 120 seconds. So for a bit of
Okay, hold on. Let me get this straight. You're putting in a anti-slug feature. Okay, let's just follow this line of logic. We're putting in an anti-slug feature because on average, survivors are slugged between 32 to 26 seconds per match. So you're putting in a Basekit Unbreakable that activates after 120 seconds? Is that addressing this so-called issue of it being boring laying on the ground? Or is it just fucking up the balance of the game? Because it doesn't really sound like it's solving the problem you're intending for it to fix. You're just shitting on killer for the sake of it. Anyway, I don't get it.
reference, the bleed out timer for survivor is 240 seconds. So this will take half of your bleed out timer to fill, which is quite significant. However, it will fill 33% faster for each additional survivor in the dying state. So if a killer is indeed slugging a little bit more than for just pressure, well, they risk a slug or multiple slugs getting back up and away.
Bro, how many times does your own community have to tell you guys that the problem with all of with self-reviving or self-unhooking or anything is that this is a fucking team game. It's a team game. Your teammates need to help you. If you know that they can pick themselves up all the time, then it doesn't mean anything. It's a fucking team game. Make the solution team-based. Why do you think everyone needs to be self-reliant in this 1v1v1v1v1? Is it because you had the Glicko 2 matchmaking MMR system implemented? Like, what is it? It's a team game. Stop making survivors be able to do things by themselves. That's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem with medkits. They can instantly heal themselves. There's no pressure. That's the biggest problem with a lot of perks that allow people to unhook themselves. Like, you need team gameplay. It's so stupid. Why are we removing the teamwork aspect? You couldn't, like, we already told you about one of the best possible ways to fix this, and it was a team solution, right? 2 slugged players that are fully revived can pick each other up at the same time. You know, that's clutch. That's fun. That's interesting. That's agency. This is just stupid. I know my teammate's slugged. I'm not getting off a fucking gen now. He'll either pick his own dumbass self up, or the killer's gonna hook him anyway. So I'll just sit on my gen. Like, that's what's gonna happen. Like, guys, it's not, you're just testing something. You are implementing, you're wasting developer resources on things that it just obviously suck. They suck right out of conception. They never were even decent in thought. I don't need to play it to know it sucks.
So once the resolve bar is full, the survivor will be able to pick themselves up for the rest of the trial.
Great.
However, they need to fill their recovery meter every single time. You can't just like pick yourself back up the moment you're down. And then the last part is the crawling speed of a survivor will increase over time while in a dying state, and it will go up to 1 meter, 1.05.
They just had to get it in somehow, but you can't crawl and revive at the same time, at least.
The normal time a resolve bar takes to fill, so when you're the only survivor in the dying state, versus 2 additional survivors in the dying state. So as you can see, the trapper's taking the time to down I think that's a Claudia, I can't see from here.
So you want to crawl? So the strategy is, by the way, you want to crawl immediately when you get down. Crawl immediately. Try to get to a place maybe where the killer can't see you, and then revive. And you don't need unbreakable anymore. So just bring tenacity instead of unbreakable. You get downed. You start to giga crawl away as fast as you can. And again, this is exactly where everyone else's brain is going to go who's decent at the game. They're going to crawl away with tenacity into a bush as far away as they can and just wait for that juicy ass self-revive to kick in while their teammates pump gens out on the other side of the map. And who can counter this? S-tiers. Anyone else? Go fuck yourself. Get out of the building.
Resolve bar is still filling. It's very hard to see on that monitor because it's so tiny. I should have maybe put that bigger, but anyway. Right, I had to put that there because I accidentally showed something that wasn't supposed to be shown, but it's fine. You didn't see anything. And so as you can see, the resolve bar is still filling. The meg on the right should be about halfway, if my eyes are not deceiving me. I think that's what it is. Anyway, sorry, it's a bit long. It's 120 seconds for the left one, so I'm just going to yap away. How's everyone's day going?
Yeah, well,
How are you feeling?
They liked your little meme thing. Whatever
that was my rendition of Meg, by the way.
Oh, that was Meg?
Yeah, that was Meg.
So how much did their bleed out timers
there were
go
reactions,
down?
Jeff. There were definitely reactions during that segment. Let's test them out.
Survivors are probably still abandoned if they all manage to get slugged.
Hammering at that point, but you know, as I like to remind people, is
now,
this game is.
What would be the problem with them having to crawl to each other to pick each other up now in this situation, as opposed to just being able to pick themselves up? Right? One is teamwork, one is interesting, the other one is bullshit and leads to horrible design. It leads to just abusing the game in every possible way you can imagine. Flip-flop power struggle teams coming out of the shadows, dude. I don't even think you need it to be a team. Just put on tenacity with like a flip-flop and power struggle. You're cooking. You don't need unbreakable anymore. You could use it for the faster recovery, but like there's so many pallets now. And bring conviction instead. They don't pick you up in 2 seconds. You just go down and you conviction. Plot twist. Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways you can abuse this shit. It's so stupid.
It's designed and developed for the players. And so if the players are not satisfied, then we need to improve. We need to do something better.
But you know what? And this is why I could never be a designer, and then why you don't want me to be a designer. Our players are killers or survivors, and those are very different things.
They are.
It's a super hard balance.
Yeah, killers are piece of shit assholes in real life who live and thrive on the suffering of other people who are just trying to enjoy their day off of work. And survivors are just fucking, man, are they just amazing human beings? Every last survivor never orders food at McDonald's without leaving a tip or donating to a charity during their order. Not one single one of them.
To strike. So you don't want me on your team. That's what I'm saying.
So here you can see the Meg on the right has been done with her resolve bar for quite some time, while the Meg on the left is still trying. So you can see there's a very big difference between only slugging a survivor versus multiple survivors. And I think she's just about to get there. There we go. She just finally got the ability to pick herself back up. And I'm sorry I forgot to put the perk icon for this one, but
Tenacity.
the only perk update for this will be Tenacity.
And you're not going to tell us what it
for
does,
all
are
the
you?
Perk and add-on changes will point you to the patch notes whenever they're out, sometime in the next
So
few weeks.
they're going to change
again.
Tenacity. Are they going to nerf it or buff it? I honestly don't know. I don't know. They should nerf it, right? Because like what I just said is that this is going to make Tenacity like a meta perk, like a really good, strong meta perk. You could run it entirely by itself and get a ton of value. But they might say, hey, we know that, we're going to nerf it. Who knows?
And when you have
Probably
any
not.
feedback, please do share it.
I think they did
Definitely
nerf
were
it
some-
last time,
before you get
but
to
that makes
Tenacity,
sense.
Some big Tenacity fans in the chat that wanted to hear about it, so shout out to them. Jeff, please take a breather. You're not done, though. But we're going to take a Jeff break and hand it over to Justin. Jeff, thank you so much.
I give you the clicker of
I will
power.
gladly give you a break, sir.
To echo what I saw someone say, you're doing great, Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't think we did a full run through before.
Oh man, that couch is
was
leather.
long.
Holy shit.
Damn. So I'm here to talk about a very hot topic that I think people have been asking about. Let's see if this clicker works properly first.
What is a hot topic?
Autohaven.
Autohaven is a
So we've
hot
heard a few things
topic?
from players, you could say. Some would say it's too dark.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like
So
Switch players or
We've
something.
taken a look with our team. We've gone in and we've actually done like a really nice visual pass. But
My DLC
instead
for
of
just paid
talking
for that
about it,
couch.
I just want to show players. I just want to show them what the team has done. That'll be available on this PTB to try out.
This is all them on Reddit, by the way. That
I really
wasn't
want folks'
just.
feedback on this.
So on the left, you have the version that is presently live. On right is the version.
Am I
of the
crazy, or
Autohaven
does this
map
look just
that's
like the
live
Walking
during
Dead map?
PTB. Now, if you notice, the team has gone through, brightened up the textures, adjusted the lighting.
This
and
looks
kept
just
a
like the
really
Walking
nice
Dead map.
atmosphere
Like
to
it's the
entire
exact
map.
same skybox, I think.
Just want to say, this is probably one of the only realms where I have to boost my gamma up to the max because I literally just never see anything.
It's something where like you don't remember how dark it is because you're kind of just used to it. But then when you take
Looks like Plague
a look
puked on
through
it.
what it could look like,
I like the
properly brightened
skybox
and
more,
see
like the
all the
lighting
textures
and stuff.
properly.
Like
So
it
it's-
does look a little bit
and
like
it's amazing with just
higher
that amount of
quality,
work
but
the team
like
has been able to do. So like really congrats to the art team to be able to.
it kind of just
polish
bothers
this,
me
make
that it's
this
so
one more
green.
visible, and
I don't
I'm really
know.
looking forward to hear what
It
everyone has
looks
to
like,
say about all the
it
Autohaven
looks
maps
like
on
the
PTB.
Walking Dead
So we've
shitty
even
filter
made a map
that they put
showcase
on.
that will rotate a map from Autohaven each day, so you can easily jump in and just try it out. And like
There's a map showcase in the PTB
Go ahead.
that
we are
they're
testing everything
just
here.
for Autohaven.
We want to make sure
Why?
that players
Why
are
not just
satisfied, that they feel
up
it is
the
an improvement.
Autohaven's like
If not,
time.
we are absolutely willing to go back and do some tweaks, make sure that players feel that this is what they were expecting when they were asking for, improved lighting on Autohaven, or complaining that it's too dark.
Just to confirm, the map showcases like having a separate queue for that realm specifically.
Exactly. So players can jump right into that. They'll play
Ooh,
one of these.
Autohaven
I
only
forget
queue.
exactly
Let's
what
go.
rotation we pick, but we can absolutely share that. So if you want to come, back one
Everybody
week,
is shitting on
one of
him
the
with this in the
Autohaven
chat.
maps,
Yeah.
not a problem.
Cool. Very cool.
Still on the subject of maps.
Bro, well, why are they okay? Like, you want to talk about a hot topic? Why are we going for Autohaven before Swamp? What are they holding out on for Swamp? Why don't they want to touch it? They seem terrified. Swamp is still like in 2016, like when Hag came out. That's like the version of Swamp we still have. It's like all of a sudden you're loading into like a PS1 game. I don't get it.
Finished a map survey that we sent out to players, and I don't have the final numbers, but it was tens of thousands, I will safely say. So thank you everyone who filled that out, because we've been I'm going to use Eric's words.
Here's a map survey. They all suck.
on this kind of
Every map sucks.
So I don't have a lot I can share with you right now, but we are using it towards a lot of initiatives and to inform some decisions. One thing I can share is that we know what your top 5 enjoyed maps are. Some may shock you.
No, they won't shock me. You know why they won't shock me? Because there's 4 times as many Survivor players as there are Killer players. So I know every map is going to be the most fucking piece of shit, dog shit, diarrhea stain in the game. It's probably going to be Dead Dog Saloon, Ormond, Eerie of the Crows, Bad Ham. Like, you know what? I don't think Bad Ham will be in the top 5. Do you know why? It won't be in the top 5 because every Killer player probably unanimously got together and voted that they hated it. So that probably was enough to like kick it out of the top 5.
What we did here is we took a look at the most liked and the most disliked, and so really took both of these into account for how players rated each map. Now, if you see a map here that you didn't get,
I made a video earlier this year where I said the most underrated horrible maps in the game, and Dead Dog was my number 1.
That's normal. Players were only given 5 maps from the total to answer. Otherwise, if you have you answering on all the maps, you are never finishing the survey.
It's a lot.
It's a
This might
lot.
challenge some perceptions here.
Maybe a bit. So
Or not.
at 5th we have, I should have put RCPD. I always forget the name. That's on me.
West Wing,
We have
one
the
of the
West Wing.
best Survivor maps in the
We then
game.
have Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Freddy Fazbear's is a bit of an interesting one. I wouldn't say it's the most horrifically unbalanced map in the game. It's definitely Survivor sided. But I don't like. I think that's more of there just because people, they're just fans of Five Nights at Freddy's. That's the only thing I can think of. Same thing with, I guess,
The
RPD
East Wing.
East. Right? If both RPDs are there, either people don't know the difference, or again, we're going off of just like fanism.
We have Ormond Resort.
Ormond, yeah. One of the absolute most dogshit maps in the game for Killer, unless you're like an S tier. Like, Ormond is so horrible for Shift W and not being able to ever gain pressure. You can just never gain pressure on this map.
Which I know is someone's favorite in this room I'm staring at. And then we have our champion, like, is Dead Dog Saloon.
Who would have
It's
thought?
actually not a shocker, because whenever we would have players vote on maps that would get boosted before anniversary events, always the winner,
Dead Dog.
all the time.
Are we going to?
Because why is Dead Dog Saloon a shit map? Like, let's just quickly, because they talked about Dead Dog Saloon in Scott Yoon's last podcast, and they were telling, like, I think they were saying that Dead Dog is like their favorite map. Not Scott's, but I think Hens and Tofu both agreed that Dead Dog was like the best map in the game. The shit thing with Dead Dog is the gameplay loop on it sucks nuts. Balls, stinky, that like just horrible rancid nutsack. Why? Because when a survivor gets hit anywhere on the map, and it is a smaller map, what do? They run to main building every single time. Every single time they run to main building, because it has no resources and it arbitrarily wastes a shitload of your time as Killer if you're not playing like an S tier. So the whole gameplay loop becomes Killer on one side of the map doesn't want to commit, and on the other side of the map you have the survivors holding down the saloon. It's a dog shit. The design is so counterintuitive. It's so bad. Of course the DBD community would vote it as the number 1 map. Of course they would. Because there's probably an infinite supply of fucking glue in that saloon. But it doesn't surprise me at all. And now again, when the devs see this, what do they think? We like maybe it's a good thing that we like smaller maps. That's true. We do like smaller maps. But man, we on that map, we just need to have the most disgusting main building imaginable, like a main building that you are just so safe in, and that there's a gen upstairs that's literally impossible to pressure, but my god, are we gonna make you watch us do it? We want you to watch us do that gen and know there's not a goddamn thing you can do to make us stop doing it.
To add that crown on top.
Unless you're nerds.
To celebrate that.
In the map.
I may have to go to the team and ask for it, but probably not. No expectations. So
Yeah, it
with
is
a lot of
fair.
this info, we're going to do some things that we've been hearing players talk about, because we've been waiting on this data to help us make more informed decisions. So we
Right.
are going to be rebalancing the weights of the maps so that you get the maps that you like more often,
No,
and we are going to address the realm repeat prevention.
dude, we don't want more Dead Dog Saloon. We don't want more RPD. We fucking really don't want more Ormond. You can't do a survey where 400% of the player base plays one side. That's just gonna make it to where you play on nothing but survivor-sided maps. And even if let's say they let killers decide it, that wouldn't be any better. We want variety. Like, we want variety. Holy shit, you guys suck at your job. I'm sorry. You suck at it. You're terrible. You're terrible at your jobs. You said it like you were proud of yourself. It makes me sick. Well, not really. I don't care that much. But it's so stupid. Like, are you serious? Like, how can you be that stupid? Like, come on. Come on. Like, you're not that bad at your job. I just refuse to accept it.
So right now, let's say it tweaks your second most played map. It reduces the weight by reduces it to 25% of what it is or something.
Everybody's screaming
Don't quote me
no.
on that.
No!
They're definitely going to
Yeah, I don't know why I said it. It's a terrible idea.
They should just have a big bottle of
we are going
Elmer's
to
sitting
make
right
it
on
more
that coffee
harsh.
table.
So that among everyone who's in a match, amongst all 5 players, you will have a higher chance of getting a map that none of you have played in those past few matches.
That'll never work, what he just said. Like, what he just said will never work. I respect it, but it'll never work. You'll have a less of a chance. No. We know this won't happen. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah, lately, but yeah, like if they've already been, especially like if they've already been testing this and this is where we're at, I don't think there's any hope at all, because like what? Fire all. Yeah, more Dead Dog and Ormond. I'm so done with this trash. Yeah. Like, who wants to play that, bro? Do you just want to play S tier killer for the rest of your life? The only option here is to play Survivor. There's a no, like, playing killer with this? I don't want to play killer now. It's not even these changes. Like, I don't want to play killer now. Imagine in this universe. Like, I'm good.
Between all of these, I'm hoping that really.
I was hoping I had a Elmer's PNG on my like PC so I could put it on their table, but I didn't have
It
one.
just gives you a lot more fun.
It just
This is not something
it just gives you a lot
that we're
more
going to
fun.
tweak for the PTB, by the way. So I
Right.
want to be clear. Or I'd rather keep
It's a
the focus
longer-term
on,
thing.
exactly. I'd rather keep the focus on Autohaven. We do also just need to finalize what those values are, how we are actually taking all of the data into account. That sweet, juicy data.
That
But
juicy
I'm
data.
hoping that this helps improve players' experience, quite a bit.
Cool.
Just curious, like I'm gonna ask chat a question.
Oh, they're ready.
But do it.
They're hanging
Out
on the
of
edge of their seat.
curiosity,
Wait, I just realized something. Do you guys see this guy? Do you see, like, am I? Hold on. I might be onto something with this. God, why is like the only picture they have of this guy so ass? Hold on a second. Bro. Is it him? Has Wes Keltner secretly become an employee of behavior? Is this why they started saying stay tuned all the time? There's maybe it all makes sense now. Maybe the truth is out. The real reason TCM got canceled is because Wes Keltner had to focus his attention on DBD. You know, he couldn't focus anymore here. Anyway, we can go back to it.
Have you seen an increase in, I don't know, Hawkins or the game or RPD? Because in my matches, that's what I've seen a lot of lately. RPD? Yeah. So I'm very thankful that we're looking at that, because some variety would go a very long way.
Well, we're going to see. So I think the realm repeat prevention will help there.
Yes.
Dork shouting from the back.
So we are also going to look into just making sure that it is working as intended. So that's a little.
So they've been trying it in the background. So what he just said is they've been trying this in the background without telling us, right? They've been using us as lab rats with this new map design. And you already see the result of how dog shit it is. We're playing on RPD. We're playing on Toba Landing 1,000 times. Nostromo, which is the same realm, by the way, which isn't supposed to happen. So like you can already see that it's not working and it feels shit. And yet this guy's getting super defensive. He's like, why don't you just calm down? Why don't you just calm down? All right, we're still testing it. Like
occurrences of things like this. And we want to make sure that what the changes that we are doing, we're confident with them, and that players can expect to have that good variety of content during their match.
Very cool stuff.
Dude, just make it random.
I like
Just
the
make it
support the
random. What are we doing? It's that simple. You don't
you so
need to
much,
put a
Justin.
system in.
Stick of power then.
I'm excited for people to test this in PTB and may or may not release it someday.
Test in PTB,
Yeah.
you say? How?
PTB, the T stands for testing.
Oh my
I'm going to
god.
die on this hill.
Are you sure it doesn't stand for time? As in time wasting? Dev hours? Billions of them?
I probably will. What's UX?
So UX, that stands for user experience.
True.
And if I may, experiencia de usuario for all the Spanish speaking and my Chilean brothers and sisters. It's all about how do we present the game, deliver interaction, make it feel great, and also as engaging as possible. You understanding what you
Oh
can
no,
do.
this guy's
what
gonna
you're
be a
not
time
allowed to
waster.
do,
Holy shit,
how
this
to
stream
do
is
it in
long.
the best way. So, yeah.
No one will know.
Or the book spend, that was UX doing their dark magic.
Yeah, you got it.
What we're doing is on PTV, we are showing a new face, a new way of presenting the settings menu. Oh, right, I have the power.
Yeah, you
I
got it.
forgot. Yeah, well, it's such a new technology.
Damn!
So we're going with a
Damn.
more modern way of presenting the settings. Also trying to keep the horror theme. So we're not trying to.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, I'm sure you're proud of yourselves for this, but like, I don't think anyone needs to see this. Like, this could have just been a surprise when you got on the PTB.
Also to start saying, okay, let's go and make our widgets better. So instead of just being clicking.
Wait, you mean I don't have? There's a slider now. I don't have to just click the arrow key 700 times. Wow, that's
We
crazy.
just said, okay, let's go with something we're all used to and just let people.
Horror
write
settings, yes. It's very
in the
scary.
bar.
I'm
And this is also
terrified.
super important because sometimes there are needs things better, test them, also make the color that you want to have.
Wait,
It is
what?
because of widgets users in the future. So
The copyrighted music feature doesn't work anyway, by the way, so it doesn't matter. You're gonna get copyrighted music whether you like it or not. New scratch marks colors.
Here.
Bro, this is huge. This is huge. New scratch marks, because red sucks. It's always sucked. It's iconic, but it's always sucked. And now people are going to be able to make their game look so stupid. Like you could like make your scratch marks like cyan. Like look how bright that cyan is. It's like 10 layers brighter than any of the other color options. So everybody's just going to make their scratch marks like cyan now. It's going to be so fucking Fortnite. Here's the thing. For people that are actually colorblind, this is a huge W because like obviously the game just sucks if you're colorblind, but like the unfortunate truth is every time you implement a feature for what's the word for inclusion or whatever, I forget the word, but every time you do that, it also affects balance. It just does. So this is gonna definitely hurt the identity of the game a little bit for sure. Everybody having like super bright ass cyan. I know they're gonna go for cyan. Look how bright it is. It's glowing. It's literally glowing off the screen.
And it is because we are testing in this PTV, letting you all customize the color that you want to have on your scratch marks. This is something that all players are going to be able to see, but it's also very.
They're making reshade base basically.
Won the stream. You're the winner.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I thought he wanted like the bulk spending.
Okay, drop the mic. I'm leaving then. I already won.
They're calling you Poppy, by the way.
Poppy. Oh my.
Damn.
Let's get used to that.
Okay.
You've seen them use cyan scratch marks before?
Poppy Diego.
So yeah, and one thing
It's
I'm
like
going
when
to
people
show,
who aren't
so
handicapped
one
park
thing I
in
want
the
to make,
handicapped
to
spot. Yeah,
communicate here is that we're
exactly.
trying to empower all players. So of course this comes from us thinking of accessibility for people.
Accessibility, that's the word I was thinking of.
But we are trying to go beyond that, making the game better for everyone, and thus covering from this special situation or needs. So I think it's just what I said there.
Yep.
So this is an example of the left side.
Of course they go straight to the cyan one.
Bigger on the
I
right
could have
side,
never
it's
imagined
one of
why.
the colors applied, this type of cyan color. If someone would like to have that, even now.
The reason I think she's there is that I think she's like kind of doing the technical aspect of the stream in the background, making sure everything works and stuff. Like, it's so obvious, bro.
I must say I don't have color blindness, and it's easier for me to look at.
He just said, I must say I don't have color blindness, but I must admit it's easier for me to see. I appreciate the honesty, bro.
The contrast between the cyan color and all the yellow kind of palette on the Cold Wind farm. And we can see using another color how this could be seen, because this is a simulation of someone with protanopia, that they perceive reds closer to yellow and
so this is why it's good for people who have color blindness, basically,
so
because this is what it would look like for them.
Have people on house that they are able to see scratch marks for the first time.
Yes. In this room, even.
In this
White
room,
scratch marks on Ormond.
the way we're doing it is allowing.
As a snow map, I think it'll still look good, to be honest. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. I mean, in the worst case, you could swap it on Ormond if you get it, but I think it'll still be the best one.
You to go even during match to the beta tab, because we're testing this.
Oh man, you could get to it quick too. Yeah, so that's all you'd have to do if you got on Ormond. You would just find out like which scratch marks are the, and I can already tell you there's going to be a YouTube video like day one from like Hens or somebody who will literally tell you what scratch marks are the best scratch marks to use for every single map. They'll be like, on this realm you want to use this color, on this realm you want to use this color. This is going to get min-maxed so quick, you have no idea. Like, this is going to be min-maxed so quick. It actually already is on Reshade. They have like pre-mates for every map in the game, so it already kind of is, but somebody's going to make a video that goes for everybody. The scratch mark of color meta. No joke. It'll exist. Every accessibility feature will be sweated. Every one of them.
Also, all players to go and change the color per map and to try it out, see which one works better for all maps, or maybe they would like to have it change it per map. All these things we would love to know. How do they use it? Is this interesting or not? Or are they okay with just one color, etc.? And the neat thing is that even with this
White doesn't look too
one,
bad, but I still think that the cyan is better.
Bot Survivor just decided to go into a locker there. So another example that we have there, a little bit shorter, is on the Macmillan stage.
I think I'd still keep red just out of
also a
fucking like
comparison
self-pride.
popular red jet darker map. Here we're using another sort of colors. That, by the way, since we are in this phase of continuous improvement, we are always trying to find how to make from little to big things better, and we're testing these things out. Colors may vary, and we are going to be adding perhaps more colors if this is necessary, if you players want it.
Lots of purple requests.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we
Lots of
are
Prince-
adding a purple.
lots
in
of Prince
fact.
fans in here.
Yes, it's most
Piss
probably that
marks.
we're going to go out with a purple. Don't quote me on that, as I'm quoting Justin, having said don't quote me on that.
Wait, what was that?
Lots of Prince fans in here.
Yes. It's most probably
You could change.
that we're going to go
There was
out
something
with
there.
a purple.
Oh, that was the point of
Don't
view.
quote me
I
on
see.
that,
I
as
was like,
I'm
what is that
quoting
down there?
Justin, having said don't quote me on that. But yeah, purple is one of the ones that we have noticed that could be better.
I'll stay there.
yeah.
No more clicker for me.
I get one. I get to do one. I get to do one in this update, in this section. So there is something
This is
that,
so long.
you know, throughout the year, we've been talking about quality of life and delivered some beautiful things from UX and stuff like that. But it's clearer and clearer with each update. The real focus people want is on bugs. I think that's clear.
Damn.
And what we
Who
have
would've
been
thought?
talking about is a way to make that more effective, to know which are the biggest bugs, which are the ones most desired to be
Who
fixed
cares
in
about
priority
bugs? We
orders
have
of things.
systems that we need to create for
Right now,
months and
people
then
shout
not
them
implement
across
because they're
our various
terrible.
Social channels, we try to grab them like butterflies and send them to the QA team.
Nice metaphor. They are bugs. Yeah. You can have
Bugs,
said
yeah.
moths
I
or
knew,
bug,
yeah, I meant that. So we are going to be going live with a new tool from our friends at a place called Beta Hub. There are some lovely Polish gentlemen.
Gotta like Beta Hub.
And it's going to allow the community to report bugs to us. It'll connect directly to our.
I just saw HP Phoenix, by the way, scream in chat on the side, fix cigar box. It only has 8 meters on it. The desperation.
I won't say Jira.
said
Our
Jira.
tracking system.
We're not going to quote you on that. Don't you worry.
And one of the coolest features of this tool that I'm a nerd about is you can also report the bugs via Discord. So if you're in the Discord, we talked about it earlier with Mandy, we're going to look to find new things we can bring to the DBD Discord. You see a bug in the game, you just type it into a place in your Discord, and it will generate a bug report that goes into the tool, that goes to our, I won't say Jira, tracking system. And it's really fucking cool. And so for me, it's a really big.
That's cool that you guys can track the bugs, but are they going to be fixed? Because, like, a lot of people have been talking about very blatant bugs for a very long time, and they still haven't been fixed. So, like, it's a cool tool in theory, but if it doesn't actually help get things fixed, then I don't know. Maybe we should make a new anti-tunneling, anti-face camping mechanic.
Thing I'm excited about, obviously, it's a boring, nerdy thing, maybe, but I'm excited about it because it's going to really help us focus on the most impactful bugs, which I think is what people want. So that was my thing. I got to, they let me say. So
Very exciting.
thank you all so much for joining us. I think that over there, Mandy has gathered a few questions that I did not shout out while everyone was oohing and awing over Papi Diego. So
Hey, I must say, everything that I bring to the table, by the way, is thanks to my team. Not
amazing
only
team,
me, it's
yes.
my UX team, but also all the collaboration of all the game design team and other
Absolutely.
departments. So,
Teamwork
we
makes
have a
the dream
fantastic
work.
team.
yeah. Puppy team. Not puppy.
Team Papi.
This guy is Wes Kellner. Nobody can
So
convince me
I'm just gonna read
otherwise.
this because I haven't pre-read it. So here we go. How will this impact the competitive scene, the anti-camp, tunnel, slug features?
So this is what they're about to say. You ready for it? Oh my god, I hope you guys have a whole dish of Elmers in front of you to just indulge in what they're about to tell you. They are going to tell you that for the competitive scene, all of the shit they're adding to the game can be turned off in custom games. You know why? Because they know it's bullshit, and they know that at the high level, it doesn't fucking even get close to working, but yet they're still gleefully glazing it like it's good and putting it in the game, even though they know it's dog shit. And here's absolute 100% proof that they know it's dog shit, because they're going to let good players at the game turn it off.
Am I answering this?
I suppose so.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a really good question. And the answer, sorry, my mic is a little bit, okay. The answer is that all of these can be turned off in custom matches, which is usually where the comp scene performs their matches. So, you know, if you want to keep the unhook protections for your particular tournament or competition, you can do that. If you want to keep the Bloodlust but turn off the rest, you could do that. So you really have the ability to turn them on or off to your desire, basically.
Okie dokie. Thank you, Jeff.
There you go.
This is another one for you, I believe. With the Bloodlust T1 on the tunneling solution, does this get lost when the killer will break a breakable wall or break a nearby pallet?
Yeah, so the way that the Bloodlust bonus works at the moment is that it will turn off if you enter a chase. It will turn off if you break a pallet or a wall, or if you use your power. So it's really, you know, use it for mobility, and I guess the rest is up to you.
All right. I think this is another one for you.
boy.
Sorry. Will the unhook effects work with cages?
I'm assuming that's a question about executioner cages.
Maybe to be.
Yes.
Oh, to execution. Okay.
Yes. I think right now they might. I would have to check. I'm not actually sure. God, I'm so sorry. I
fine.
generally do not
It's a
remember.
live show. I told them this is, we're
Yeah.
just to get the good
Yeah,
with the.
because
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
good.
because we did add endurance and
You
haste
know,
to
like,
execution
realistically-
cages in the past, so
Whoa.
there's
Calm
a
down with the
possibility that it's
MLG.
also
No.
applied there, but I would have
No.
to double check just to be sure.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
He wants to just say, who asked such a stupid fucking question? Who asked me such a stupid... Nobody gives a shit about Pyramid Head. Who asked that question? Ban him. Get him out of the chat. I don't want him here. Fuck him. Nobody wants to play Pyramid Head.
We'll find out for you and get back to you.
That's what he wanted to say.
Pallets are getting a lot of attention. There's so many on some maps, and it's really hard on M1 killers. Is there any plan? Are there any plans to address this? I'm going to answer this
ChatGPT, do you know what we should say?
one.
That's why I was waiting. It's like there must be a thing where we're asking about.
It's been a long
pallets.
show, folks. Yes, so actually, if you
Let's see what that's. All right, he's a community manager, so he's going to go for this one. All right. We've seen the feedback about pallet density lately, and we totally understand the concern, guys. We get it, but it's a tricky to balance. It's tricky to balance to strike with pallets because they're a key part of the survivor experience, but we also don't want maps to feel overly safe or repetitive. So the team's looking at the data. They're looking at, oh man, are they fucking glazing the data? And doing playtests, we're testing it because we want to fine tune the spawn logic. And don't worry, guys, we're going to keep you updated when we have something solid to share. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Okay.
You follow our channels. Just yesterday or the day before, we did a big discussion thread about the pallet density topic on the forums as well as Reddit, and we really want people to go there to outline everything that you find is problematic. So we can then
give us that feedback and we'll look at the data.
That discussion is going to be up until after the weekend, so you've got time. Don't need to do it right now. But yeah, we're gathering all that feedback as we speak. And then final one, which you kind of addressed, but we should repeat it. Are these buffs that you just went through for Skull Merchant in place of
Are these
rework?
buffs for Skull Merchant?
So they are not. However, if they end up having like a good outcome for her where players are satisfied, because again, I need to remind everyone, like, everything that we do is for the players, and so if the players are happy, then we're happy. And I think that's the goal. So if we put those changes in the next PTB and players are happy and the feedback that we get is positive, that's a good first step. And I think the next step after that would be to look at the data, right? Because player feedback is one thing, but the data is another. So if everyone says that she's, for example, super strong, but the data just says that she's not, then there's probably something where we need to reconcile the two. But the next step would be to look at the data. And then I think after that, we could probably make a better decision about the next steps. But ultimately, it really comes down to the feedback that we get. If it's really positive and you guys are happy, then we're happy.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Jeff. All right, so this has gone very long. We still have one more person to come out. So we are going to wrap up this segment now. Thank you all so much. This has gone quite well. I appreciate the PowerPoint especially.
Thank you.
And the chat, the folks at home seem to be having a good time. So really glad we could do this. Exactly what I wanted for this stream. So thank you for making it happen.
Bro, like, here's the thing, and I just got to say it, and I don't know if they're aware of it. They probably are, but like, when it comes to aughts and hens, like, I like them. I definitely like them. So I'm not trying to say anything negative. It's just, it's so annoying how literally, like, anything they say becomes like Dead by Daylight law. You know what I mean? Like, they could just come out and they could say anything, and like from their perspective, they might not see it because they see all the negative feedback, right? Like, they see all the like YouTube comments that are left like 400 pages down that you don't see. But like, it's like, as a community, like, what they say, like, it just like flows into like everyone else, and all, like, every other content creator, and everybody just regurgitates what they say. Like, it's 100% fact. And I know they don't ask for them to do that or anything, but it's just the reality, and it's so annoying. Like, it leaves like no room for good discussion. It's a nightmare because, like, they'll say something, it'll kind of echo its way into like the community will echo it, the devs get that feedback, and then they make changes based on it. But only the shit stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, if there was like a good take, like, it just kind of gets like ignored. They're like, Krasu's the most overpowered killer ever. You don't have to use one brain cell to play her. All right, guys, we got to literally just nuke this killer into oblivion.
We're going to come back with a very quick wrap up with someone else you haven't met, and I won't spoil it. So let's go do that.
I already know that this is going to have something. Yeah, it's fucking merch, dude. Do we give a shit? No, we don't. We don't care about your guys trying to monetize it at the end.
Oh, hey, hello, we're back.
Blah blah blah. Buy our stuff.
Samples.
Oh, did you know you could buy more stuff? Hey, look at this. What else can you buy? Oh, you could buy this clicker. Oh, really? Yeah, it's on sale right now. What else can you buy?
Earlier, we missed it in the excitement of this first show. People are wondering what's the deal with the Frank Stone skin.
Oh yeah, they were gonna make a Frank Stone skin.
Definitely not coming.
Oh damn. Who cares?
We just want to reassure you.
Frank Stone
we still have
sucked,
plans
guys.
To bring Frank Stone to the fog. We're just revisiting how we want to approach Frank's integration into the game. So stay tuned. We'll have more to share.
Are you saying you want to make Frank Stone a unique killer? Because what would his power be? I'm boring.
Maybe something.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. Care of everything in chat. Thank you.
Absolutely. Dork, did you want to say anything before we sign off?
Yes, I did. I wanted to come back and say about the cosmetic contest.
Oh, yeah.
So we're in our next one, in the next community thing we're going to be doing in November. We're going to be
echoing,
showcasing a
Dork.
roadmap so you can see when those cosmetic winners will be entering the Rift, coming into the game. I think that's a really important thing for you to be able to see, especially for our winners, when they can experience their thing coming into the fog.
I think she just needs to
as
mute
well
this
as when
mic.
things are coming into the
Because I think
store
you
with
can
our
hear so
support.
well in the echo that you may as well
Make
just
sure
mute
you're
the
coming to the
mic.
November one so that you can see that. And also for all of our current winners, we did send them what they could expect to see in changes. Other than one, I'm still working on it. But other than that, everyone's got their changes that are going to be made to their cosmetics. I also want to reiterate that this is a purchasing of their concept. It's not a collaboration. As much as we really want it to be a collaborative effort where we're
Yeah, and he's like, I've had enough of this. I'm getting on Baldur's Gate.
See how they feel about this piece being there and stuff. That's a lot of time. It's a lot of time zones, and it's just
Okay.
I mentioned a lot of work going into the stream. Dork also put a lot of work along with.
Thanks for watching. Okay. So, guys, I'm glad you were willing to sit through this 2-hour and 40-minute advertisement for Civilization Revolution. Get involved, download the game. Like, oh my god. And this dude like just shamelessly says out loud, I'm a survivor main. Like, I'm a survivor main. Like, dude, we know. You don't have to tell us. We know you're a survivor main. You didn't have to say it.